Welcome to Phase 1 of the Meet Ventures EIR Startup Curriculum, Founder Foundations and Mindset. This masterclass is designed to audit founder readiness, co-founder alignment, and establish high-velocity execution rhythms before you write a single line of code or spend external capital. Before diving into customer acquisition or software architecture, every entrepreneur must confront the core question: am I, and are we as a founding team, actually built for this? Over the next 30 minutes, we will systematically examine your venture entry point, evaluate your team's unfair advantage, structure your co-founder governance and equity mechanics, and establish the operational cadence required to build a venture-scale company. To understand where this masterclass fits, let us look at the complete macro venture trajectory, our 10-phase institutional venture building lifecycle. We begin today in Phase 1, Foundations and Mindset, auditing founder readiness, complementary skill balance, equity splits, and operational tempo. From here, your venture advances through Phase 2 for ideation and discovery, Phase 3 for market segmentation, beachhead targeting, and TAM, SAM, SOM sizing, Phase 4 for value proposition design and iterative product-market fit testing, Phase 5 for business model formulation and unit economics modeling, Phase 6 for go-to-market execution and growth loops, Phase 7 for team, culture, and organizational structure, Phase 8 for fundraising, cap tables, and legal term sheets, Phase 9 for storytelling, pitching, and demo day execution, and Phase 10 for metrics, cohort retention, and post-PMF scaling. Phase 1 is the mandatory bedrock that supports every downstream acceleration phase. Here is our executive summary of the 4 foundational modules you must complete before entering customer discovery or product engineering. In Module 1, Venture Entry Points, we identify whether your startup originates from idea obsession, proprietary tech, or a personal mission, and sequence your validation milestones accordingly. In Module 2, Founder Market Fit, we audit domain expertise, lived customer experience, and proprietary network access to prove your unfair advantage. In Module 3, Co-Founder Dynamics, we establish complementary skill divisions across hacker, hustler, and designer profiles, resolve speed versus resilience trade-offs, and implement standard 4-year vesting. In Module 4, the YC operating system, we lock in Y Combinator's weekly execution cadence, Monday sprint goals, single North Star metrics, daily deep work shipping blocks, and Friday retrospectives. Let us begin Module 1, How Ventures Are Born, Idea versus Tech versus Mission. Every high-growth technology startup originates from one of 3 distinct entry points. Misidentifying your entry vector is one of the most common mistakes early founders make, directly leading to broken validation workflows, misallocated capital, and fatal development errors. An idea-driven founder needs a completely different initial validation path than a deep tech engineer commercializing laboratory IP, or an industry operator solving personal workflow pain. Identifying your origin vector ensures you apply the correct customer discovery frameworks from day 1. Entry archetype 01 is idea obsession, starting from high-level observations of market inefficiencies, structural shifts, or broken industry workflows. Founders in this archetype are market-driven and focus directly on market size, shifting consumer behavior, and commercial opportunities. Their greatest strength is unbiased solutioning. They are completely unattached to a specific tech stack and are willing to pivot product formats rapidly based on feedback. However, the fatal trap is superficial insight risk. Without deep domain empathy, idea-obsessed founders frequently build solutions in search of a problem, mistaking polite survey responses for real commercial demand. Your immediate required action is validating problem severity through 30-plus problem-first customer interviews before designing prototypes. Entry archetype 02 is proprietary technology, commercializing novel IP, algorithms, deep neural network architectures, advanced materials, or biotech breakthroughs. Your clear advantage is a defensible IP moat and deep technical barriers that fast followers and incumbents cannot replicate easily. However, technical founders face the classic tech-first dilemma, the hammer looking for a nail. You may possess a 10-fold performance breakthrough, but lack an immediate, commercially viable market. The primary failure mode is over-engineering elegant technology that enterprise buyers simply do not need or have budget for. If you enter via proprietary tech, your priority is finding a specific, high-value commercial workflow where your technology delivers overwhelming financial ROI. Entry Archetype 03 is personal mission, where solutions originate from direct personal or professional suffering. Personal mission produces iconic founders because it provides unmatchable resilience. You possess the stamina to endure a 7 to 10-year venture journey because the problem is personal. You also act as user zero, giving you instant customer intuition that eliminates guesswork in product scoping, while your authentic narrative attracts top talent and visionary investors. However, you must avoid the N of 1 trap, assuming that because you suffered a workflow frustration, a venture-scale market exists. You must run our diagnostic test. Is your friction shared by 10,000 or more individuals or enterprises with dedicated budgets? Or are you solving an edge case inconvenience unique to your previous employer? Let us benchmark our 3 entry archetypes side by side. Idea obsession provides high execution speed and customer flexibility, but carries the fatal assumption that the problem is too superficial for users to pay for. Its phase 2 validation focus is willingness to pay testing and problem severity ranking. Proprietary tech provides deep technical defensibility and IP moats, but carries the risk of over-engineering without demand. Its phase 2 focus is identifying immediate high ROI enterprise use cases. Personal mission provides long-term endurance, visceral empathy, and authentic storytelling, but risks N of 1 niche bias. Its phase 2 focus is market sizing and verifying problem frequency across the wider target cohort. Your entry archetype dictates your validation sequence. If you are on path A, idea obsession, you must interview first. Conduct 30-plus qualitative problem interviews before writing a single line of code or designing logos. If you are on path B, proprietary tech, you must search for ROI. Identify the single vertical where your technical performance delivers a quantifiable 10-fold ROI or massive cost reduction. If you are on path C, personal mission, you must verify broad scaling. Prove through data that thousands of external peers experience the exact same operational bottleneck daily. Let us look at how iconic tech giants navigated their origin vectors. Airbnb began through idea obsession in 2007 when Brian Chesky and Joe Gebbia noticed local hotel shortages during an industrial design conference. They placed air mattresses on their living room floor to validate real customer demand before writing marketplace code. Google began through proprietary tech in 1998 when Larry Page and Sergey Brin developed the PageRank algorithm at Stanford, using 10-fold indexing superiority to drive organic adoption before commercial monetization was finalized. Stripe began through personal mission in 2010 when Patrick and John Collison, frustrated by how bureaucratic it was to accept online payments for developer projects, wrote 7 lines of code to solve their own pain. Every founder must actively avoid 2 common anti-patterns. Trap 1 is the hammer looking for a nail, forcing trending technologies like AI, blockchain, or Web3 onto random industries without establishing genuine problem severity or operational ROI. Trap 2 is the phantom problem, building a complete software application for a minor inconvenience that potential users complain about in surveys but will never allocate budget, change workflows, or spend capital to resolve. Focus your energy exclusively on hair-on-fire operational problems. Before moving into Module 2, complete this diagnostic self-audit. First, identify your entry point and categorize your venture as idea, tech, or mission in your internal documentation. Second, map your primary assumption. What single core assumption, if proven false during customer interviews, completely invalidates this venture? Third, establish your validation gate. Lock in your Phase 2 customer discovery plan, tailored specifically to your entry archetype. Completing this audit ensures your team is aligned on venture fundamentals. We now advance to Module 2, Founder Market Fit. Venture capital investors do not fund good ideas in a vacuum. They fund founding teams that possess asymmetric advantages in specific markets. You must be able to answer clearly and defensively. Why are you and your team the absolute best team in the world to solve this specific problem? Over the next 8 slides, we will audit your team across deep domain expertise, lived customer experience, and proprietary network access. Pillar 01 of your unfair advantage is deep domain expertise. This means 5 to 10 plus years operating directly inside your target industry vertical. Domain experts possess an intimate understanding of legacy enterprise procurement cycles, compliance hurdles, and non-obvious regulatory shifts before they become public knowledge. The institutional defense value is substantial. Outside generalist teams waste 12 to 18 months learning basic industry jargon and navigating compliance landmines, whereas true domain experts skip baseline friction and close enterprise pilot agreements in weeks. Pillar 02 is lived customer experience. When a founder has personally suffered from a problem daily, that lived experience acts as an intuitive compass for product development, eliminating reliance on guesswork or superficial surveys. We use a simple diagnostic verification. Can you articulate the acute emotional and financial pain of your target user better and more clearly than they can articulate it themselves? When you understand subtle daily workflows, you build products that fit naturally into user routines without requiring massive change management. Pillar 03 is proprietary network access, creating distribution leverage that competitors cannot purchase with marketing spend. This includes executive relationships, warm, direct access to CXOs and procurement leads who can greenlight letters of intent and paid pilot trials on day one. It includes talent magnetism, the professional credibility to recruit world-class software engineers and sales leaders from your past network. And it includes distribution advantages, immediate access to proprietary distribution channels, industry associations, or captive enterprise databases. Let us analyze the Founder Leverage Matrix, which evaluates how your team's background impacts execution speed. Founding teams operating in high domain and high speed occupy the outlier tier, combining deep vertical mastery with agile software iteration, making them highly attractive to top-tier institutional VCs. Conversely, teams in high domain and low speed fall into the corporate trap, where deep industry knowledge is bogged down by corporate bureaucracy and slow decision-making. You must pair vertical expertise with startup agility. World-class accelerators evaluate founding teams using rigorous scoring models based on 3 quantitative criteria. First, execution velocity, a demonstrated historical track record of shipping projects rapidly under extreme resource constraints. Second, coachability and intellect, the mental flexibility to absorb tough, direct feedback without defensive resistance. Third, resourcefulness, the ability to overcome operational blockers and find creative pathways forward without relying on outside capital. Your job during Phase 1 is converting early founder leverage into permanent, structural venture moats. First, create proprietary data loops. Use your domain access to train specialized AI models on proprietary dataset assets unavailable to the public. Second, engineer high switching costs. Embed your product deeply into enterprise workflows so that removing your platform creates operational disruption. Third, build network effects. Design platform dynamics where each new user adds value for all existing users. Score your founding team on a scale of 1 to 5 across our diagnostic framework. Question 1. Industry depth. Do we have 5+ years of direct exposure to this industry vertical? Question 2. User empathy. Have we personally experienced this problem firsthand? Question 3. Network access. Can we call or email 10 target decision makers today? Question 4. Technical moat. Do we have the in-house capability to build our V1 MVP without agency support? Question 5. Mission alignment. Are we prepared to work on this problem for the next 7 to 10 years? To wrap up Module 2, we have now established a clear audit of your team's unfair advantage, domain access gaps, and defensibility levers before entering customer discovery. If your audit revealed gaps in technical autonomy or distribution access, your immediate next step is addressing them systematically. In Module 3, we will resolve these gaps through co-founder recruitment, complementary skill mapping, and advisor networks. Welcome to Module 3, Solo Founder versus Co-Founder Dynamics. Co-founder disputes and poorly structured equity splits are the #1 cause of early-stage venture mortality. Building a successful venture requires establishing clear team architecture, complementary skill divisions, objective governance, and fair equity vesting schedules before incorporating the business or signing binding legal agreements. Let us analyze the solo founder dilemma: speed versus resilience. Solo founders benefit from maximum decision speed, complete autonomy, zero internal consensus friction, and zero early cap table dilution. However, solo founders face severe vulnerabilities: high risks of emotional burnout during market downturns, single points of operational failure, and institutional investor bias, as top-tier venture capitalists demonstrate a clear preference for balanced multi-founder teams. To ensure complete operational coverage, we implement the classic complementary trio framework. The hacker serves as the technical lead, owning product architecture, software engineering, cloud infrastructure, and deployment velocity. The hustler serves as the commercial lead, owning customer acquisition, enterprise sales, fundraising, partnerships, and business operations. The designer serves as the product and UX lead, owning user research, interface aesthetics, customer onboarding flows, and brand identity. Every venture needs clear ownership across these 3 disciplines. Founding teams must hold explicit conversations around governance and values before signing legal documents. Discuss scale ambition. Are you aligned on building a venture-scale company targeting $1 billion-plus outcome, or a lifestyle business? Clarify time commitment. Is everyone committing full-time immediately, or is there a phased transition? Audit financial risk tolerance. How many months can each founder survive on zero salary? Finally, establish a decision rights matrix that assigns definitive tie-breaking authority per domain to prevent operational deadlocks. Cap table hygiene is critical. The classic 50-50 split executed on day 1 without discussing future contribution is a dangerous pitfall that leads to resentment when operational workloads diverge. Instead, apply dynamic equity allocation principles. Factor in historical IP contributions, cash invested, and future full-time commitments. Always remember that execution over the next decade accounts for 95% of venture value creation, whereas the initial idea is worth less than 5%. To protect the company from early departures, standard vesting is mandatory. We enforce a 4-year vesting schedule with a 1-year cliff. No equity vests during year 1. On month 12, exactly 25% vests immediately, and the remaining 75% vests monthly over the subsequent 36 months at 1/48th per month. If a co-founder leaves after 6 months, unvested shares return to the company pool. Without vesting, a departing founder retains half your company while contributing 0 future work. Every institutional startup requires 3 legal safeguards in its founder agreement before raising seed capital. First, IP assignment, ensuring all source code, product designs, and patents created by founders are legally owned by the corporate entity. Second, reverse vesting, subjecting existing equity to vesting terms required by incoming institutional investors. Third, departure protocols, establishing clear buyback provisions and non-compete clauses in the event of founder resignation or termination. Examining real-world case studies reinforces these governance principles. In our success model, a founding team established clear domain boundaries. The CEO managed fundraising and sales, while the CTO managed code and infrastructure, enabling rapid execution without territorial friction. In our failure model, a team executed an unvested 50-50 split. The non-technical founder quit after 4 months while retaining 50% equity, rendering the company unfundable and forcing its collapse. Before advancing, complete the Module 3 Team Readiness Scorecard. First, execute a written founder agreement, incorporating a 4-year vesting schedule and a 1-year cliff. Second, sign complete IP assignment agreements, transferring all code, designs, and assets to the business entity. Third, establish clear domain decision rights and document the CEO tie-breaking authority. Completing these 3 items secures your legal foundation. Welcome to Module 4, the Operating Mindset. In this module, we implement high-velocity execution rhythms grounded in Y Combinator's startup school frameworks. Success in early-stage startups is determined by shipping speed and customer feedback cycles. We will organize your team's weekly cadence around Monday goal setting, a single North Star metric, daily deep work shipping blocks, and Friday retrospectives. Here is the Y Combinator weekly startup execution loop. On Monday morning, conduct goal setting to define one primary numerical metric target for the week. From Tuesday through Thursday, execute daily shipping sprints, utilizing focused deep work blocks to push production code and conduct customer interviews. On Friday afternoon, hold your weekly retrospective to review metric performance, celebrate wins, and audit missed goals. Repeat this loop every single week without fail. You must select a single primary metric, your North Star, and track it ruthlessly to prevent distraction. Approved primary metrics include revenue, such as MRR or ARR, as the ultimate proof of customer value, or active users, DAU, MAU, completing core actions for network products. You must ignore toxic vanity metrics. Social media followers, page views, registered users who never return, and press mentions do not prove product traction. On Mondays, apply our sprint goal-setting protocol. Target 5% to 10% week-over-week metric growth. Growing your North Star metric by just 7% week-over-week compounds to an astonishing 33 times annual increase. Apply the sprint rule of 3. Every Monday, establish a maximum of 3 critical tasks that directly drive your North Star metric and eliminate all secondary, non-essential operational noise. Protect your team's execution time from low-value meetings and administrative distractions. Implement a daily 4-hour uninterrupted focus block reserved exclusively for building product or speaking directly with users. Adopt a ship daily philosophy. Push small product updates, release copy improvements, or send targeted customer outreach every single day to maintain continuous momentum. On Friday at 4 p.m., hold your weekly retrospective with total transparency. Audit 3 questions. 1. Did we hit our projected 5% to 10% metric growth target? 2. Root cause analysis. If we missed, why? Was it flawed execution, an invalid assumption, or lack of pipeline? 3. Speed of learning. What critical customer insights did we uncover this week that update our product roadmap? Maintain radical transparency by sending regular monthly progress updates to investors and advisors. Use our standard 4-section format. Section 1, Key Metrics, covering MRR, active users, growth rate, and remaining runway. Section 2, Highlights and Wins, detailing major features shipped and deals closed. Section 3, Lowlights and Misses, reviewing mistakes and lost pipeline honestly. Section 4, Asks, requesting specific introductions or hiring assistance. Lock in your operating system setup before starting Phase 2. First, select your primary North Star metric. Second, calendar 9 a.m. on Mondays for team sprint planning. Third, calendar 4 p.m. on Fridays for your weekly retrospective review. Treat these calendar blocks as non-negotiable operational commitments. We now arrive at the strategic bridge, turning outward from internal readiness to market reality. In Phase 1, our focus was entirely internal, locking foundations, securing co-founder alignment, and establishing operational rhythm. With internal readiness secured, we now turn outward in Phase 2 to test our core assumptions against real potential customers and market demand. Here is your executive preview of Phase 2, Ideation and Customer Discovery. In the next phase, you will master the Steve Blank methodology, getting out of the building to conduct non-leading problem discovery interviews. Apply the MOM test framework to ask questions people cannot like you about. And evaluate customer willingness to pay to validate commercial demand before writing software. During Phase 2, your team will build and validate 3 core deliverables. First, 30 customer interviews, synthesizing interview transcripts to map acute pain points across target profiles. Second, letters of intent, LOIs, securing non-binding agreements or pre-orders demonstrating real willingness to pay. Third, a validated value proposition, refining your value prop matrix backed by empirical customer evidence. Let us review the executive recap of Phase 1. In Module 1, you classified your venture entry point and sequenced your validation roadmap. In Module 2, you audited founder market fit across domain expertise, customer empathy, and network leverage. In Module 3, you structured team dynamics with skill mapping, 4-year vesting, and decision rights. In Module 4, you locked in your operating system with weekly YC sprint loops and a single North Star metric. Review our pre-Phase 2 exit gate checklist before proceeding. Confirm that your venture entry point is explicitly documented in your team repository. Your unfair advantage matrix is completed with scores assigned. Your founder agreement is signed with a 4-year vesting schedule, and your weekly operating cadence is scheduled in your calendars. To officially unlock Phase 2, ideation and customer discovery, navigate to your student dashboard on the Meet Ventures LMS platform and complete the 5-question Phase 1 knowledge check quiz. Passing this quiz verifies your baseline understanding and grants immediate access to the customer discovery modules. Congratulations on completing Phase 1 of the Meet Ventures startup curriculum. Always remember, ideas are cheap, execution is everything. Build your team, lock your focus, and go validate market reality. We look forward to seeing you in Phase 2.